Hi, I'm Lee. Welcome back to the channel, Fix It for Reselling. Today on the desk we've got a Denon, I think it's AVR-1804. It's a 6.1 channel, I think, amplifier, audio receiver, whatever you want to call it. Problem with this one, we seem to have some DC voltage on the outputs on the speakers, which is never a good thing. And so when you plug a speaker into it, it just hums. So let's get this apart, see if we can find out what is wrong with it. I'm suspecting the output transistors. Run the intro. Right, this is a bit of a beast to have on the desk and try and film it as well, but just to show you, I've just connected up one speaker to, what is it, speaker B, the right channel down here. Let's plug it in. Just want to show you what happens with this. I'm going to turn it on, as you can see on this camera. Actually, let's get the iPod. Just going to plug this into the CD. And into the iPod. Right, it doesn't actually have to be on. So we've got it on CD over here, as you can see. And we've got it on our 6th channel for now. Right, so down here we've got our speaker A and our speaker B. So we've got the speaker plugged into B, so we'll turn that on now. And you're probably not going to hear anything. Speaker's on. Doesn't matter if you turn the volume up. Let's put it on stereo. Can actually slightly hear something out of there. Let me just put this over to the left channel. Now we'll turn it on. Now you can hear it humming. Hopefully you can hear that. So yeah, you can hear the you can hear the hum on there. Turn that speaker back off. So if we turn it off for a minute, let's unplug all this. Right, so let's bring on our multimeter and put it on the DC. Just ground that one. Right, so let's put this into the B speaker, the right side. If we turn this back on now, we'll now stick this on our 6-channel stereo because we're going to test all the channels. I'm going to put both speakers A and B on. Hopefully you can see that light there. And hopefully you can see there on the multimeter, that one has got 25 volts DC. That is no good. And if we move it over to the left channel, we have minus 28 volts, 28.3. Now if we go on to speaker A, right channel, 24 volts as well. Left channel, minus 28 as well. The center speaker, we just have 18 millivolts, which is perfectly quite normalish. The surround right channel, we also have 25, so we've got a problem with our surround as well, although the surround left channel is 7 millivolts, which is right. Now if we go on the surround sound back speakers, we've got 18 millivolts on the left, or this is marked 1 and 2, and 18 millivolts on there as well. So we have got voltage on our left and right stereo channels and the surround sound right channel. Hope that makes sense. What you should see, actually, let's plug this back in. 2 seconds. Right, I'll use the center channel because that one hasn't got DC voltage on it. But at the moment, right, that's paused at the moment. Just going to put my probes onto the center channel, or the center speaker rather. Right, so we got AC, we're on AC now, not DC. Right, hold it steady. So you can see it's reading 0, I'm making a good contact. No, it keeps moving. Stop. Right, so on AC, and now if I play this music, you'll see this voltage start moving around. 0.5, 0.4. If I turn this up, you can see it's now 0.1 volt and dancing around as the music plays. If I stop that, it goes back to sort of 0.03, not making good contact probably. So that's kind of what you should see. And if you put it on DC, you should just have a few millivolts. That's all you should see. And the reason you get AC is it's pulsing the speaker in and out. I'm no expert, don't believe a word I say. So now we've finished chatting rubbish, let's get it apart. Right, so here we go. It's all off, all unplugged, lids off, tops off. Right, massive heatsink. This is where all our power transistors or output transistors are going to be. This is going to be a nightmare to try and show you what's going on in here. We've got all our power transistors down the bottom there, connected to the heatsink. There's 10 of them. We've got 2 up the top here. There's 2 power transistors. I'm not sure what those 2 are. It's just like one. That's like one channel, isn't it? Right. So all our others are all down in here. These are like your output pairs. I don't know whether that's the driver in the middle, but I'm suspecting these have gone. And we're going to get a lead in there to test them. Right, you're probably not going to see what I'm going to do here, but I'm just going to test the output transistor over this side. Right, so I'm just going to put my red probe on the base. I don't know whether this one's the PNP or the NPN transistor. Red on the base to the collector. That's not in view, is it? It was the wrong way round anyway. Right, black on the base. Red to the collector. 0.5, so we've got a good diode junction there. And a good diode junction on the other side. And if we go from base to collector, we shouldn't have a junction, and we do. Shouldn't be shorted, and it is. And reverse the leads. So we've got a short, I think, between the collector and the emitter, showing 0, which is a short. I think that's right. If we go to the opposite one, which is going to be the PNP, I think. Was it? No, what did I have? No, that's the NPN. So positive on the base, red on the base. Oh, and that one's got a short from the base to the collector and the base to the emitter and the collector to the emitter. So it's matching NPN transistor is a fully short. I think that's what it is, because on your outputs you'll have matching transistors. So hopefully you can see here, there's one transistor. Let me use one poking stick. So that's one transistor, and that's the other one there. It's pair. I think that's probably the driver transistor, the transistor that drives them both. Not too sure, but yeah, you always have a pair. You have a PNP and an NPN transistor, and they're usually matched. You buy them as a pair because they're usually like matched together, so both their readings are pretty similar. So I'm going to strip this down, probably be easier to show you, and we're going to have to probably take them transistors out the board just to check them properly, which by the looks of it is going to mean taking all this gumph off of here. Alright, this is a bad design. To get this board out is going to be such an absolute ball ache. Screwed from underneath. Got 2 screws in the corner there that come in from underneath. and I've got no access to them from the bottom. Right, now you get to see all the output transistors in there, but hopefully you can see they're all the same numbers. You can see that they're paired. If I move this over that way, that's a second lot. Right, so this is like the second pairing, the B1506 and the D390. Move it along. You got the same B1560, D2390. Next lot, B1560, D390. Weighs a ton. And again, you see how they're the same. They're all paired. Right, so I'm just going to see if I can get this board out and take it from there. Right, with a bit of huffing and puffing and a lot of screws, we've got the main board out with our transistors on. So we're going to move this away and take a look at here, get our transistors off and check them out the board. Just check to see if we are right or not. Right, so hopefully you can see all that a little bit better now. How's that? We'll rest that behind there. Right, so here we tested everything again and wrote it down on the sheet. So these are all in order, bum, 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 as these transistors down here. So we got our first one that had the collector and the emitter shorted. Second one was a full short across everything. Third one was collector and emitter shorted. Fourth one was a full short, pretty much the same as the first. The left and the right are acting the same. And then our centre, we're saying it was okay. Our surround sound left, we're saying it was okay. Then our surround sound right, this one was the collector emitter shorted together. But that one was okay. So I'm going to start off by pulling these out the board. And what I might do, just to prove this is working, if it is these, I shall change the centre ones over and surround sound left. I shall move these onto the front left and front right speakers, so at least we can turn it back on and maybe get some stereo sound out of it until I wait for the other ones to... I'm going to order some of these from China. I've looked them up, I've ordered them, but that's going to be like 2 weeks to a month. But if we can get this plugged in and just prove it is these, we can swap these ones that are okay, put them in the front and left, and then at least we'll get some stereo out of here, and I'll have the fun of taking it all apart again. Right, so let's get the soldering iron warmed up, and we'll first take these first couple out, and we'll see if they are actually shorted out of the board. Just undo these screws first, covered in thermal paste. Got a nice shiny solder on here, so this must be, well, it looks like leaded actually. It's nice and shiny. Then we're going to get these off. Maybe I'll just hold them up. Oh, that one's off. Too much solder on it, we're going to have to suck some away. Let's block the soldering gun up anyway. Right, it's enough solder off now. Now I can just, ping the legs off, unstick them. Right, so a quick little check of these two out the board. So meter in diode mode, a PNP. It's this one, so that right, wrong way around. Yeah, so that was okay. Got our diode junction there, and is this short? Yes, it is. So So that collector and emitter are shorted together. So yeah, that is knackered. And then this one should have been a full short. So it's an MPN. Swap the leads over. Yeah, and that's a short from the base to the collector and to the emitter, and the base and collector shorted as well. Shorted whatever way around you put it. That whole thing is shorted. So yeah, that's reading the same out the board as it was in. So you got to wonder why. Was it overdriven? Was it a wrong speakers? Speakers connected up wrong and volume turned up too high, blew it. Who knows? I'm gonna have to inspect some. Inspect some of the resistors or something. I'll have to check the schematics for the circuit. Right, let's just get these other ones out now that are that were showing as gone as well. So we've got this as our reference sheet. So we've done those two. Now we need these two. But I want to take. I'm going to take these ones off as well. I'm going to put them over to here. So let me just sort all this out. Okay, those ones are soldered back on there now. We should have our left and right channel back. I was thinking of moving these two down there, but I've still got to take that one apart. I'm going to have to take it all apart again when the things arrive, so bugger it. Right, I'm going to save a bit of time on the video here. This is where I started to put it all back together, thinking this was going to be working. But yeah, schoolboy error. Don't go by what's written on the schematics and the position of the components. You're about to see in this next clip. So we are shorted between the base and the collector. Right, a bit of a schoolboy error now. I've got it back out again. Ignore this, where you got front left, front right, centre, surround left, surround right. Ignore that. If you actually go by what's written on the board, and if I look at the schematics as well, it shows me like an actual board view. This one this side is not the front left, it's the front right. So there we go, that's our two output transistors down there. But if we see here, that's the resistor 110, but front right. So it says front right there. So that is not the front left. And also where I had the transistor before on this one, that is actually, if we zoom in, what can we see? You can see a resistor in there, SR. So that's the surround right. So yeah, a bit of a schoolboy error. Front left is all the way down this end. So I've taken those transistors off there, put them down there. Also, another thing I wanted to check in here was some of these resistors, and I noticed that some of them are open or reading far too high. This should be a 0.22 ohm resistor, and it's reading like 500k. I've actually taken the one out next to it, out the board, which is there, and it's reading as open. There, nothing, no reading at all. That resistor is open, so no power is getting through here. So looks like our transistors have blown a lot of resistors. So as with the transistors, I'm going to take some resistors out the middle, out the other channels, and put them in here just to test. I've ordered some, just got to wait for them to arrive. Right, hopefully I've got all the components in there working now. Front right was quite bad. I changed all of those components in there. Front left was just a couple of resistors. Made myself a little sheet where I've written down what components they were, whether they were blown or not. I haven't done the centre channel and the surround sound left because I think they were all showing as working okay. Well, nothing was shorted. So I've borrowed the components out of them and tested them, and they've been okay. I've checked the surround sound right, and we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, another 5 components on there. So the front right with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 components on that, and 2 on the front left. Although I did change the 2 capacitors out on the front right as well. The capacitors was reading a little bit low. Right, so let's put this back together and see if we've just wasted a few hours. Let's see what happens. See if anything goes up in smoke. That'll always be fun. One other thing I was going to say as well, this has definitely had work on it before. Right, it's not going to focus, but these two resistors down here that I took out the centre channel, you know, they're nothing like those resistors that are throughout. They're the same value, it's fine, same value, but they're different resistors. So it's definitely had work on it. And also looking on the back of it as we was working on it, I did notice all this flux before, but that has been added extra. And they're shiny. Everything else is dull. Everything else is like unleaded solder, and this is like leaded solder. And all this flux, I think someone has been into all these channels before. Whether they got it working or whether they were trying to get it to work, I don't know. But this has definitely been worked on before. It's all back together. Just going to get the lid on and get some speakers attached. Might want to leave it open to see the smoke, but too close to the power. Alright, so here we go. We're going to plug it in. I'm not sure what's going to happen because I've removed loads of components from the other channels. We've basically just got the front and left. But because components are moved, there should be no like current flow to a lot of stuff. There's no transistors in it. So I'm hoping this is going to be alright. If you're sitting there watching the screen and you're screaming at me, don't do it. I'm sorry. Right, let's get the other camera recording. Right, recording on the front camera now. In she goes, plug it in. That is on. Right, power. Nothing. Don't panic, everybody. It's just a wire down here I missed. Right, so yeah, we're still unplugged. I thought I'd put all them in. Let me just double check all these wires are in down here nicely. Be careful where you're touching, because although I've turned it on, it might not be. I've charged the capacitors because the wire wasn't in. You always want to be sure. Yeah, because that was just the switch wire that wasn't in. So yeah, you want to be careful in case the caps are charged up. Well, let's try again. Plug. Right, let's plug it in this time. Move that in case any smoke comes up through here. Right, let's turn it on. Yes, at least we're on. Right, both our speakers are still off. So let's just check we're on stereo. So it's just using the two channels. Let's try turning speakers B on. Just make sure this volume's down a bit. I'm not sure I can hear the speakers as I turn this up and down. Alright, let's try and play something. Hold it up. Hold it up. Now right channel is good. We have nothing on left. Nothing on the left. Damn. Right, let's shut this down because I don't want to blow any more up. Right, so that's good. We've got our front right going. Gonna have to check the front left. Right, tell a lie. I think I've actually blown one of these test speakers. So I'm going to plug one speaker, this speaker into the right. And there you can hear, that is nice and loud. Let's take that speaker, now put it into the left. And again, just as loud. And to show you, I'll take the wires from the other speaker. They haven't got those things on them, so you can see the wires are different. If I plug this one in, you can slightly hear it. But yeah, I think I've blown that speaker up. Chuck them out of the way. Let's bring in the pure speakers. Pause that a minute. We'll leave it as a surprise. Right, that one's in the right channel. This one's going in the left, and these are 6 ohm speakers as well, so they're good for this amplifier, where my test speakers are only 4 ohms, so they're no good for this one anyway. Right, both speakers are in, let's go. Let's give it some volume so we can hear it. Sounding good. So I just hold my mic over so you can hear they're both working fine. See, let me turn the microphone down so it doesn't. And there we have it. I'm pretty chuffed, I'm pretty amazed that's working. You can hear it, still playing. Hopefully you can see on that display it is working. Turn that down. So we've got the left and right channels back. That is going good. I've ordered the power transistors. I need to order some extra resistors. I do have all these resistor kits, like a 1/4 watt. I've got the 1 watt resistors. But the trouble is these ones need, like I might have shown on the piece of paper earlier, is the 0.22 ohm and the 4.7 ohm. Yeah, and the trouble with these, like the trouble with these resistor packs, they go from 1 ohm, you know, to 10 ohm, 20 ohm. It's all the standard sizes up to like 1 meg ohm. I don't have any like 0.22s or 4.7s. They're just like your bog standard resistors. So typically it's the lower value ones I haven't got that I've had to order. They are quite cheap. I've just put an order in for like £8 for a load of resistors, but that's for some other stuff as well. And the power transistors, I've ordered a load from China. Whether they're going to be any good or not, we'll find out, because we'll come to this, back to this. We'll do an update video. We'll get the new power transistors in there, or the output transistors. We'll check everything on the other channels. We'll update all the resistors, maybe have to change a couple of those little capacitors as well. And yeah, we'll come back to this and we'll do an update, and hopefully it will be fully working. But I'm pretty chuffed at how this is working. I'm pretty amazed that I've got those 2 channels going. So I hope you liked this video. I hope you've learned something. And if you did, please like, please comment, please subscribe, share the video to your friends, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.